Hey, it's James again. I got to address another issue that's tied in with my last video that says stop acting like moms own children. Here's another problem that we men have, or most men have, is we want somebody else to baby us and mommy us and somebody else to go do it. Now, one cool thing about guys is that we're usually kind of drama free and we're just laid back. And we don't want a bunch of drama, but that turns into a weakness because women see us, we let them nag us, we let them poke and prod, we let them assault us because you got to be a man and tough it out if a woman hits you. And all that does is empower the bully or the narcissist. You let a woman get away with stuff because she's like, I don't want to deal with the drama, I'll just tolerate it. And there's so many. One of the biggest worst things that you see is these new husbands or stepdads or the baby mama's brother who knows that you're right and knows that you should be equal, but they're a bunch of punks and simps and they won't stand up to her because she's got everybody controlled by witchcraft and this Jedi mind trick bullcrap, and everybody's paranoid of something that doesn't exist and fearful that she has the entire police force on her side when she doesn't. If you know how to deal with the cops, if you care enough about your kids to do a little bit of research instead of sitting on your butt pounding some beer and watching a football game. That's what the government and other societies have done. You know, when the people were starting to get politically aware of things, you know, the Romans introduced the Roman games and Greece introduced the Greco games to entertain the people, to lull them to sleep while they violated their rights and took their freedoms away, and those empires collapsed. So there's nothing wrong with football. I love football. I'm a videographer. I love shooting football and basketball. But it's not my idol. My life doesn't revolve around it. I spend a good deal of time doing it, but it's not going to interfere with my life with my kid. And it's not going to be my escape from the discomfort of fighting for my kid. So here's the thing. We want to just pay a lawyer and have them come do it. We want our mom and our dad or the grandparents to come and do it. We want everybody to write declarations and statements and come to court and testify on our behalf. We want to go through all the right procedures and have somebody wave a magic wand and give us an answer. We want everything to be made right. All of a sudden, we know it's an evil world. We know it's a sinful world. We know it's a fallen world. But when it affects us and our kids and our pocketbook, that's really the only place a woman can really get you if you're over her and moved on. When it affects that, all of a sudden we want the world to come crashing down and all of a sudden to be this perfect heavenly utopia free of any evil. And we whine and cry, oh, how come they don't want to be reasonable? How come they don't want to be cool and down to earth and make this simpler and stuff? Because you're dealing with a psychotic narcissist. You were stupid enough to have a baby with a crazy woman. So was I. You know, my conscience told me not to mess around with my baby's mom. I think it was God speaking to me, and I did anyway. And I suffered the repercussions of it. There's all kinds of warning in life, in scripture, from other people. Hell has no fury like a woman scorned. Everybody knows that. Don't go out and date a crazy woman who could be easily scorned. If you're stupid enough to have a kid with a crazy woman, a lot of you guys out there were so desperate for love, attention, stability, security, or you wanted sex so bad on a regular basis, you had to just marry anything that walked by you. Now, that being said, there's plenty of relationships where there was a good person and they seemed decent. My baby's mom seemed trustworthy. We had a plan, even though we had a kid out of wedlock and we weren't together. And then her fat, ugly sisters come jumping in. And they're jealous. And they got a Cinderella complex. And they're jealous of her. And they got to run interference. So the mother rolls with them and follows them. And her allegiance is to them. And then she feels more and more scorned. And then she gets postpartum. And that exacerbates and, you know, exponentially increases her emotional basket case situation. So I'm preaching to the choir here. I had to have a talk with myself and realize this thing's screwed up. It's not going away. I'm not sitting around being deprived. I actually had an assistant pastor I talked to and consulted with. He said, why don't you just wait and calm down until she calms down, then everything will be cool. No, my child is being deprived of a father. I'm being taken away out of my child's life. I have a right. I have a God-given right, a constitutional right, a right, period, to have a relationship with my daughter, who my life revolved around when she was pregnant, and right after she delivered the baby, then all of a sudden stuff hit the fan and it changed. No, I'm not waiting. If somebody steals, same thing I alluded to last thing, if somebody steals your car Are you going to sit around and hope and wish that somebody else will go looking for it? Or that somebody else is going to get it back? If you saw it happen, you might go running high and low. If your kid if you're married or in an intact relationship and your kid gets kidnapped, are you going to sit around and wait for somebody else to do it? No. It's your kid. You go rescue your kid from this narcissistic child abuser. Any parent that withholds a child from another parent, unless it's to protect from molestation or abuse, any parent like that is a child abuser. If our kid stays the night at a friend's house and their parents beat up that kid or hit your kid or accidentally harm your kid, you're not letting them over there again. You're not going to sit and wait until they go get some help and deal with their... No, you're yanking your kid from that. You take proactive action. But for some reason, we think because we're in the right, and you guys are in the right, the women should let you see the kid. The women should agree with you. The women should not abuse the court system against you. But guess what? We all have a free will. Nobody's stopping them. And you wishing, crying, and moaning, and whining, and curling up in the ball in the corner, and sucking your thumb, and thinking of a happy place is not making it go away. It's time to wake up. You had a kid with a crazy woman. She's psycho and withholding the child from you. You go rescue your child. That's why I say guys are better off without an attorney. An attorney's not going to go rescue your child. An attorney's going to collect $5,000 from you up front, walk through the motions, tell you some stuff, bill the crap out of you, maybe do one hearing, then say, well, it's not worth appealing or doing a revision or reconsideration. Let's sit around and email each other for the next 5 or 6 months. You go through domestic violence counseling, anger management, jump through all these hoops. I'm going to talk to the other attorney. And then it gets close to trial and they act all big, bad, and tough and say, I'm going to get you 50-50 your custody at trial. Then come trial time, like, oh, you're going to lose, or I need $20,000 more dollars. I've already drained you for $5,000 or $10,000. Let's just go to mediation. And they sit around at mediation for 8 hours and charge you $200, $300, $400 an hour. That's how it works. They milk you for that. I did not sit around. I searched high and low, and you know what? It took me 2 days to find a godsend of a guy to give me answers, because I got up off of my rear and was proactive and said, this lawyer isn't going to help me. There's no father's rights advocates out there that's going to help me. You know what I'm going to do to help myself get my kid? I'm going to help me, because I'm that kid's father. I'm that kid's superhero. I'm going to rescue my kid from a child abusing mother and her psychotic sisters. I'm not sitting around while my relationship deteriorates with my child and waiting on somebody else to come rescue me in some fake fantasy world that doesn't exist. All the answers you need are out there. Go get them. If you don't know how to go get them, have somebody help you. I've been through it for 20 years almost. You should want me or somebody like me to help you, but I only know of one other person out there like me. The other ones who were like me, who knew stuff, quit. Fathers' rights groups always quit after 5 or 10 years. The longest lasting fathers' rights advocate I knew was around for about 25 years, and he got burnt out and tired of it and quit. That's why the fathers' rights movement and TFRM and all these idiots are not getting anywhere. They're the next generation of idiots who think they have reinvented the wheel and come up with new ideas, when everybody's been doing the same thing over and over, and then they die out, and then somebody tries it again, and then they die out, and somebody tries it again. And all these egotistical, stupid jackasses are like, I'm going to save the world from feminism. They don't want to listen to me. I've been around 20 years. You just started a year ago. You're a rookie. I'm a veteran. I got rings. I've won championships. You're not going to listen to me? Okay, go ahead. Be stupid. But I'm done trying to get guys to care about their kids. I'm waking people up. A few of you might unfollow me. Some of you might not. I don't care. I'm not in here to win everybody over. I'm in here to find those 2 or 3 guys out of 100 who got a pair, who want to fight for their kids. So man up and go fight for your kids. You do it. You're the hero. You rescue your kid. Don't expect somebody else to rescue a kid that's not yours.